it's time for our very first art project, and this is about a man named Giuseppe Arciboldo, a famous artist in the Renaissance. And he is the inspiration for our first project. So before I tell you about the project, let's learn about this guy, because it's going to give you a lot of really good ideas. So Giuseppe is what we will call him for the rest of this video. So here's Giuseppe. And he was alive during the Renaissance, so we're talking about the 1500s. And his father was an artist, and that's how he learned how to draw and paint as well as he does. And he was hired originally as a portrait artist. He used to paint royalty, and this royal family looks like a lot of fun. You know, I especially like how they all have the same haircut. It's just super good. Now, Giuseppe was talented and he could paint things very realistically, but honestly, that's what everybody was doing. They were just looking at things that already exist and they're drawing them. Giuseppe, however, was not an ordinary artist or an ordinary man. He was very silly. For example, he used to put on parades and he would put everyone in costume, including the horses. One time he made a dragon costume for a course that had like 3 heads. So he was very creative and very out there. So he started making art that looks like this. And this is very different from the royal picture and the moose that we were just looking at. Clearly, this is a woman made entirely out of flowers, and it's called Spring. And it's really cool because the longer you look at it, you realize like literally everything is a flower. Her eyes, her lips, all of it. See? Even the skin is just a bunch of different types of flowers. Now, take a wild guess. What do you think this picture might be called? I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with Mrs. Byng. It's the librarian. So this is Giuseppe's friend, Wolfgang, which is, these names are just fantastic. His friend, the librarian, he created him out of books. And the longer you look at this, again, you realize there is no body part in this painting. Every bit of the face, the beard, even the fingers are all books. This painting is based off a job. So looking at the painting, what kind of job do you think this person has? He's a waiter. So he's dealing with all the oils and the plates and buckets and canisters that a waiter would normally deal with. So Giuseppe liked to create people out of the things that they did in their job. What do you think this one's called? It's not bird, it's called fly. And this is another interesting painting because it doesn't initially look like a woman, but it slowly becomes one the longer you look at it. At first you're like, that's a lot of birds. But then when you look at it more, you're like, okay, you know, that could be a nose, and this could be hair, and this could be like a ruffly sort of dress. So it's shaped like a woman, but it's clearly just a bunch of birds just all smushed together. Now, the other thing Giuseppe liked to do is something called a flipped portrait, which is exactly what it sounds like. He would paint a bowl of vegetables. Ordinary. This is what the painting would normally look like. However, if you manage to look at it upside down, you would realize that the bowl of vegetables is actually another person. So this kind of created a playful atmosphere around this very like uptight art community. You just imagine all these very, you know, fancy dressed people going, oh, you know, it's fun. Here's another one. The original painting is here, but when you look at it upside down, you get this. And what Giuseppe did, which was so revolutionary, is he combined a still life with a portrait. Now, what are those two things? Some of my students know this, some may not, so let's review. A still life is exactly what it sounds like. It's when you draw things that are still. So this includes cups and food and feathers and cloth. So this is a standard still life, a lot of immovable, not alive objects. A portrait is a painting of a person. So he took things that normally don't move and people and just Ta-da! Made art. So that inspired me to create a project where you guys get to be like Giuseppe Arciboldo and create a face out of different objects around your house. So here's mine. This is a shirt. These are things from my window. They keep the window closed. This is a hook. This is a leaf. These are switch controllers and pencils. And we'll go more into this in a moment. But notice I just grabbed objects from around my house and I built my face. That is what you are going to do. Your first art project is to create a self-portrait, meaning a picture of you created by you, out of objects you find lying around your home. Now there are rules. Let's go over those. Don't destroy things in your house to do this project. I do not want an email saying my son or daughter ripped apart our couch to make their face. We're not doing that. Please don't. Don't waste food. Don't say, hey, mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, can I have 8 bananas? And then you just like take a bite out of 4 of them and you're like, that didn't work, and you throw them all out. Don't waste food. Don't destroy things. Find things that are already in one piece and then put them together, all right? No scary emails, please. Also, you cannot draw your face. That is not the point of this project. I want you to construct it. I want you to find things and use your creativity. Please show me things about you in this project. Include at least one thing that tells me something about your personality. That could be a favorite color, it could be an object. I'll give you an example. All right, so here's mine. Now, first of all, when we submit these to Artsonia, it's going to ask you for a title and an artist statement. I'm going to go over how to do both of those. The title of your artwork should be your first name, your last name, and face, because this is our face project. The statement, and I went over this in another video, is going to be basically, this is a self-portrait that I made out of I use these objects because depends on what you want to say. So for mine, I said, this is a self-portrait I made out of art supplies and video game controllers. I use these items because I love art and I like playing video games to relax. That's my artist statement. It says what I used and why I used it. Okay, if you forgot how to upload your art to Artsonia, there's another video on your Google Classroom that went with this assignment that explains how to upload to this website. However, if you're watching this video, you should already be here. But just in case, that video will always be around should you need it in the future. So let Giuseppe inspire you the way he inspired me and make some cool faces.